Hello class, this is Dr. Fish. All right, so in this video, I want to talk real quickly about something that you will hear me talking about in all of my other videos, and that is let the literature be your guide. Let the literature be your guide. So I'm going to save you some stress. Trust me, real quick, if you listen to me in all of my videos and everything that I'm trying to provide for you, all the resources, obviously you should know by now, I'm very big on resources. So listen to me before you start writing this paper. Please, first of all, whatever you do, don't dive into this thing and try to, ignore me, ignore all the videos, all the sample papers that I'm giving you, the checklist, everything. Look, if you have it was sent in an email already. You should already have it. It's also in the announcement. Well, I can only attach one document in the announcement, and that's the sample paper. So you got to look at the sample paper, slow down, don't try to rush through this class. I'm going to get you through it. I know some of you are a little nervous, and I get it. I was nervous as well years ago going through my first research class, but I'm going to get you through this. Now listen, I'm going to save you some stress. One of the biggest mistakes, let me start with the negative, when it comes to research. One of the biggest mistakes students make is this. They fall in love with a problem statement before they ever look at the literature. Don't fall in love with your problem statement. Okay, don't just, oh man, I just love this. I'm passionate about it. And it's good, don't get me wrong. It's good to be passionate about trying to solve a problem, but be careful not to just buy into that problem statement and you're like, hook, line, and sinker, and you ain't gonna, I shall not be moved. I'm talking about church folk. There are some who they have like a seat. Every time they go to church, they sit in the same spot, and I shall not be moved. They ain't gonna move for nobody, visitor, nobody. Those of you who you're in that arena, you know what I'm talking about. Seriously, everybody we are creatures of habit. In other words, don't get into that habit where you think this is my problem statement and this is it, and be like, I had this one. I've been doing this course for almost 10 years, and I love it. This is my favorite. I had this one student. She got upset. She was frustrated because she fell in love, excuse me, with her problem statement. And she went to the literature and she could not find anything on it. It's like, I couldn't find anything. Dr. Fish, ACE's library database is worthless. And I knew exactly what was going on. I was like, she loved her problem statement. She is not going to let it go. I shall not be removed, right? You're not going to move me. This is my seat. This is where I sit every Sunday, right? No, don't do that. So just like I helped her, I'm going to get you moving in the right direction. I know it says under module 1. I get it. Nothing wrong with brainstorming, by the way. I highly recommend doing that. Yes, brainstorm, identify a problem. This is what they're telling you to do in your module 1 instructions. So you're going to brainstorm. And I'm not trying to be nitpicky designer, but I didn't design this. But if I were an instructional designer, I probably would have started a different way. I'd probably say, okay, just get whatever a problem statement that you have in mind or a problem that you want to try to solve. Go to the literature first. That's what I would have said. But that's okay. We can brainstorm, not a problem. Go ahead and do that. Brainstorm, but just don't stick like glue, right, to that problem statement because it might change. And the reason why I always say, you're going to hear me saying it in other videos, let the literature be your guide, is because you can have a problem statement in mind and you go to the literature and you start doing research on it. And by the way, don't be one-dimensional when you are researching your problem, because there are a lot of different ways of saying what you're looking for, that authors will use different terms, but they all mean the same thing. So, for example, you may be looking for teacher retention. But you may find more articles on teacher burnout, or you may find more articles on teacher, whatever, low teacher morale. They all mean the same thing. Okay. It's all talking about the same thing. Now, of course, you want to try to figure out what's the deeper problem, what's actually causing teacher burnout. There's a lot of different reasons why that is happening. It could be pay. Well, we know that without a doubt. It could be student behavior, the increase of student behavior. It could be leadership. It's so many different factors. Trust me. I taught in K through 12, and I saw it all. Trust me. So don't be one dimensional and be open to what the literature shows you. Another thing that can happen when you, let's say you go into the literature, you got this problem that you want to try to dig into, is this. You may go into the literature, you're searching for that problem, and you find something that is so much better than what you thought you originally wanted to go and research. Can you change your problem statement from between now and when you start module 2? The answer is yes, you can. Because it happens, because you're letting the literature be your guide. And that way you want to shift to a different focus. It could be a problem that was related to what you're talking about. It could be a more concise problem, or it could be a totally different problem altogether that is more appealing to you. It's more, it motivates you more, so you're maybe more passionate about it. It's okay to do that. That's not a problem. It happens in research all the time. That is what I call, I didn't come up with that idea. I read it somewhere years ago. Let the literature be your guide. So, because remember, this is a research class. Okay. I know they use the word brainstorm, and this is not just, you're not just going to write. This is not a reflection paper, by the way. This is a research paper, and I expect to see, they even tell you, it's kind of they said it without actually saying it. Where is it? Somewhere in here it says you got to have a reference page. There it is right there. See? If they're telling you got to have a reference page, it doesn't mean, listen, here's what it means. Let me say what it means first, because some students they take it the wrong way. What it means is you have to have references and citations in the body of your paper. Okay. Now, by the way, listen, I want to see citations. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I can't say it too much. I want to see citations throughout the body of your paper. I do not want to see front-loaded citations only in like an introduction. Matter of fact, I don't even expect to see citations in an introduction. I expect to see them throughout the body of a paper, not front-loaded only at the top in the intro. And I don't see anything under your problem statement section. I don't see anything under your purpose statement section. That's not going to get it. Because what that says to me is, number one, this paper has no validity. I cannot trust it. In other words, where is the research? I want to see that you did research. You want to dig into the research. And you want to find, and if it's better for you now to find as many articles as possible, because if you can find multiple articles, how many, students always ask, as many as possible is the answer. Because the more articles you can find, the easier, quicker, faster way it will be for you to build your paper. If you can't find that many articles, you might not be on the right path. You might not be using the right keyword phrases. You want to use more than, like I already mentioned, more different keyword phrases. And you can actually use ChatGPT to help you with that, by the way. Ask it, how many other short keyword research phrases can I use for whatever? I don't know. Students who lack social emotional skills, okay, or something like that. And it'll give you a lot of different ways of plugging that into the ACES library database to do that. But you'll also see, by the way, I don't want to go back into that because I already mentioned that in another video. So again, if you cannot find enough scholarly articles about your topic, that may be a sign that you need to, like I said, revise your problem statement or move in a different direction. It's okay. Okay. You got to be okay with that. Don't Finally, do not let the literature fit your problem. What do? You let the literature guide you to the problem, okay? Your literature is kind of like a flashlight. You come into a dark room, right? And you cannot see. You can't see where anything is, and the best option that you have is to turn that flashlight on, right? So you can see. That's what the literature does for you. Don't go into the literature thinking you know more about this problem than anybody in the world. You go into the literature the right way. It's humbling because there's so much information out there, and that's the beauty of it. So much information that has been written about that particular problem. Again, that's when you know you're on the right track. You go into the literature, you cannot find anything on that particular problem. It could be that problem is unique to your environment, period. And so if you were a doctoral student, okay, if you were a doctoral student, that would actually be the ideal thing to research. Something that's unique, not something that everybody and their mama has already written about, right? Something that is extremely unique, that's different. That's on the doctoral level. Here on the master's level, whatever you're passionate about, you want to research that, but you want to find that concise short phrase that keeps hitting in the literature over and over and over again. Look for gaps. Pay attention to what researchers keep on talking about. Let me give you a little handle. I said this in another video and then I'm done. Look for things repeated, things related, things alike, whatever. Comparison, contrast, things that are mentioned over and over and over again. That's when you are on the right track. And dig deep, y'all. I don't want to see shallow research. I want you to walk away from this class. And I'm not looking for, great reviews. Don't get me wrong. I want to get some good reviews, but that's not what I'm looking for. My goal is for you to be able to walk away from this class after 5 weeks, confident that you can do research for whatever problems you may encounter in your school environment, okay? You want to be able to solve those problems, and you know how to conduct research as a result of this class, as a result of learning from one another, as a result of learning from me, and for that matter, by the way, as a result of me learning from you. Believe it or not, yes, I'm still learning from my students. I learned a lot from y'all, but I don't want to see shallow research. Shallow research to me is I don't see any citations flowing throughout the body of the paper. That's shallow. Okay, I don't want to see shallow. I want to see that you were digging deep into that literature, that you were reading multiple articles. And I would love to see that in this first week. How many references? I already gave that answer. As many as possible. Don't shortchange yourself. Okay. Use the database. Do not listen. Yes, you can use school data, but I don't want to see more school data sources than peer-reviewed sources from ACE's library database. I have a video coming up next week that shows you how to retrieve peer-reviewed articles. Now, that database has changed. I probably need to update that video, but I gave you one strategy that should help you navigate around and pull what you're looking for from the database, okay? So if you have any questions for me, do not hesitate to reach out to ask questions. I'm here for you. Once again, let the literature, you fill in the blank, be your guide. You got it. Let the literature be your guide. And trust me, you will actually enjoy the class a whole lot more. Don't try to force things on the literature, but let the literature be your guide. If you have any questions, all right, just reach out to me. I'm here for you. Chat with you soon. I'm Dr. Fish.